Here's how a community member sold a real sales system for $1,750. This is a sales system that you can sell to real businesses. And no, it's not some AI proposal generator or shiny chatbot or get rich quick nonsense. This is a real sales system that solves one of the biggest problems that every business has, which is getting clients. My name is Saad. I built sales systems for a living. I went from a nightclub bouncer to freelancing. Then I got banned on Upwork with over $2,000 frozen. So I went online and I started my own sales systems agency, and I've managed to scale it to $139K a month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it live in front of you in 20 minutes. So pay attention and let's get into it.
Okay, system sold, second sale so far. However, first full system instead of a service. Just sold my first full system to a client, $1,750. Sold one prior where I set up everything on my end and ran a campaign. Yes, so to give you guys some context, what he essentially means is he got himself in the door by setting up a system for that client and also promising some sort of like booked intros, okay? So introductions, right, with decision makers that are interested and his client's current offer or product, whatever. Okay. And then what he's done is he was like, let me just sell it hands off to them and they can basically handle their entire outreach. And the system just facilitates that because the system that we're going to build today, because I'm going to show you guys the system exactly that he sold. So it just automates the entire lead generation. Okay. We can just basically click one button and then the system does everything for us. Okay. Thanks again, Saad, for the blueprint to execute these types of sales. I got a maintenance fee tagged in as well, $200 per month. Let's go. Small amount, but still worthwhile as I'm only now ramping up. Yeah. So what he's done now is basically just got them into a monthly maintenance where he comes in and he just troubleshoots everything in like 5 minutes, which is the cool part about sales systems. Okay. And like literally maybe like the only problems you're going to be dealing with, or like the issues, someone like just misclicked something. You just come in like 5 minutes and you just fix everything. And that's how you actually like demonstrate your authority. You show that you know your stuff, you're professional, etc., which is pretty good. So I'm going to walk you guys through this entire system end to end, and we're going to build it together. It's probably going to take us 15 to 20 minutes. And this is actually like a high value system. I'm not talking about these AI proposal generators, all this crap, all these AI agents that don't really provide any value, but actual sales systems that connect companies with their ideal clients, right? Systems that automate lead generation, because every business just wants clients. They don't want systems that just do nothing. Okay. Like this is like the simplest way to put it. So to give you guys some context, this system is going to handle the entire outreach. The only thing we need basically is just a list of leads, and the system is just going to handle the entire outreach. It's going to validate the emails, generate personalizations, pre-draft copies, and adds them to a sequence. And instantly is basically just a cold email software where we can reach out to thousands of people at scale, right? So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to scope the project together, okay? So step one is we need a trigger, right? And I'm going to show you guys a cool way to do this entire flow using ClickUp, which is essentially ClickUp is basically like a project management tool. By the way, you can use Airtable, you can use Monday.com. I just like ClickUp and I've built my entire business in ClickUp. I just love ClickUp. And by the way, guys, a trigger is essentially just a way to send data to our system so it can handle the rest, okay? So the trigger is going to be basically in ClickUp. And then the second thing is we're going to have to scrape leads, which is pretty cool. The system is going to scrape leads for us. And then third step is validate emails. We'll just call this enrich data. Fourth step is personalize plus pre-draft copy. And then the last step is going to be add to sequence. So step one is we need a trigger, and I'm going to show you guys a cool way. So we need clickup.com. So ClickUp, and ClickUp is essentially just like a project management tool. Like I said, you can use Airtable. We're just going to use ClickUp as a trigger. We're going to send the data. Okay. So what we're going to do is this is basically just a list, right? In ClickUp. And this is a task, right? We can add anything, right? You can type in whatever you want. So let me just delete this and show you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, for example, we're just going to name this campaign, okay? Campaign A, okay? Let's just delete all these fields, hide column, and then hide these columns too. Okay. So we need a text field. So text, custom text. It's going to be text. So it's going to be URL. Okay. Basically like the list URL. Let's just name this list URL. Yes. List URL. Right. And then we need the date created just for tracking purposes. You want to remember which day you actually launched the system, which is pretty cool. So click on date created. Okay, so May 24th. So we have the list URL, we have campaign A, and then we need some sort of like button that we can click that is going to launch everything. Okay, so it's going to be a drop down. So custom drop down. This is going to be, for example, launch. Okay, and then the name, let's give it a name such as power. Okay, let's just delete this one. Create. Okay, so we can just click on power and then the system's going to launch. Okay, so now we're going to go to make.com and start building the system. So I'm going to go to make. Okay, I'm going to sign in using my Google account. And then we're going to create a new scenario by going create a new scenario. And then let's just name this $750 system or sales system. Okay. So now what do we need? We need to receive the data off ClickUp. Okay. So what we're going to do is we need a webhook. So just type in webhook and it's going to be custom webhook. Okay. Click on add. Okay. And then let's just name this ClickUp callback or ClickUp webhook. Okay. Click on save. Okay. See, now we're going to go to automate. Okay. Right. Create an automation. So when task is custom field, right, which is launch, changes from any, so any to power. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to send a webhook, send that data, send that task data, because this is in ClickUp, this is a task, right? We're going to send it to make, okay? So what we need to do is copy this, right, URL, and then go back, and it's going to be call webhook, okay? And it's going to be webhook make sales system. And then we're going to send it to this URL. And then let's just test webhook. Click on save, run once, click on test. So we received this. So from ClickUp webhook services. So awesome, that worked. So now we can just create the webhook. Boom, save. Well, now what do? We can just test this. If I type in, for example, my website here as an example, okay? And then let me just save this, auto align this. If I run once and I go for power, I'll essentially receive it here. Okay, so payload. So I received everything, the task ID, the campaign A, content. So I received it here. Okay, sweet. So let's just name this watch ClickUp lists. Okay, let's just save this. Okay. And now we're going to send the actual data. Okay. So this is the list URL is basically like a list that you have that you want to scrape from Apollo. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Epify. Okay. Go to console. And this is a scraper that I recommend you guys use, which is going to be an Epify store, Apollo. And it's going to be Apollo scraper, scrape up to 50K. Okay. Now this scraper, you need to top up your account to be able to scrape more than 1,000, okay, which is super cheap. I mean, $1 per 1,000 leads, okay. So make sure to top up by going to settings, and then go to I think it's for usage, yes, and then go to subscription, okay, upgrade, and go for the starter, okay. Go for the starter, pay as you go, which is awesome, okay. So leave, go back again. So now all we have to do is go to JSON, okay? So this is the URL, okay, that we will scrape, right? This is basically just a list of leads, okay? Let me just walk you guys through it, right? Let me just copy it. If I paste it, this is basically the list that we want to scrape, and the system is just going to scrape it automatically, okay? So basically we have 2.3K results of like just a random lead list. Okay. So now all we have to do, go to JSON, copy this, okay, Control C. And now we're going to click on this plus button, go to Apify, and it's going to be run an actor. Okay. And then all you have to do is click on this add and then go to settings. Then go to API and integration, copy this default API token, click on connection type, Apify API token, paste it here, click on save. Okay. Now the actor is going to be the Apollo scrape up to 50K. The input JSON, well, the input JSON is the JSON that we have here, Control C, paste it here. Now, looks like I didn't copy it. Let me just copy this, Control C. There we go. So I just pasted it here. And this is basically the total amounts of records. Okay. Okay. So we need like to add like a total numbers of records. Okay. So we need to add another text field. Yeah. So this is going to be total numbers or total leads. And let's just put the date here. Okay. So how many leads do we want? Okay. Sweet. So we're just going to put 100 for the purpose of this video. And then we're going to, I believe that's it. Yeah. Click on, actually, no. So we need to input the URL. Okay. So we're going to click on save and we're going to unlink this. Okay. And then we're going to go to ClickUp. So ClickUp. And the module that we want is going to be get a task. Okay. Because we need to get that task from the ID, which is ID, okay? Campaign ID. Okay, so get a task, click on add. We're just gonna save this, and then we're just gonna authenticate our ClickUp account, connect to Workspace. You do not need to add any API or anything, which is pretty sweet. So we're just gonna go to map. We need to map the task ID, which is gonna be ID. Click on save, okay? Let's just re-save this, okay? So now let's actually test this. So let's just go back to manual, copy this, and then go back to total leads. Go back to total leads 100. List URL, we're just going to paste it here. Okay. And then now all I have to do is run once, then go back to ClickUp and then click on and choose power. I'm going to receive it here. Sweet. Awesome. So I have the custom fields that I want, right? So custom field, which is this one. I have the list that I need and the total leads. Okay, so now I can essentially just map it by going to total numbers of records, which is 100. And then the URL is going to be the URL that we have here. Boom. And it's going to be the list URL. Okay, save this. Now this is going to be scrape leads. Okay, now check this out. Let me save this, run once, then go to runs. So there is no run in the background, right? But now if I click on power, I'm going to receive it and I'm going to run an actor. Okay, so we have an issue. So we have an issue with the JSON. Oh yeah. Let me check. So the input. Oh yeah, we don't have a right bracket. Yeah. Okay. So now it's gonna work. So let's do it again. Power. Boom. Now it's running. And check this out. If you go to runs, it is currently running, right? Sweet. So we're gonna gather the data. So basically, this is like the first part of the system. Okay, so 100, we got the 100. Okay, sweet. Well, now what do? Is save this, auto align this, and this is gonna be part 1. Okay, so part 1. All right. So now, well, what do we need? We need a way to gather the data from this actor that we just ran. Okay, so this is gonna be part 1. We're gonna create a new scenario. Click create new scenario and just copy this. It's going to be part 2. and click on Epify. And now it's going to be watch actor runs. So watch actor runs. Click on add. Okay. Connection type, Epify token. And then let's just go back to account, copy our API key. Let's just name this, for example, paste this here. Click on save. Well, now the actor is going to be the 50K Apollo. Okay. And save. So essentially this module is going to watch the scraper. Okay. Watch the scraper. Once the scraper finishes scraping, we're going to get that data. Okay. Click on save. And then now click on this plus button. We need Epify again, and it's going to be get data set items. Okay. Well, now what do? We need to map the ID here. Okay. Now, in order for us to get that ID, we need to rerun the scraper. Okay. So what we need to do now is just hard code that data set ID, continue building the system, and then we can run it from start to finish. Okay. At the end. So all we have to do is go to the run, go to storage, copy this data set ID, copy it. Now, if I paste it here, go to limit, just put 1 for now. Okay. Just 1 because we want to retrieve just 1. Click on save. And now just unlink this, link this here, and leave this puppy here. Okay. Now let's just run once. Now I will get access to the data, right? So now I can essentially do whatever I want. I can manipulate it however I want. So this is going to be get data, and this is going to be watch scraper. Okay. So now, since this is Apollo, obviously we need to handle email validation. So I'll be showing you guys a way how to validate emails, and it's going to be mails.so, okay, which is an email validation tool. Okay. So I'm just going to go to API, right? Once you sign up, just go to API, copy this API key, Control C, and now go to mails.so, validate a single email, go to add, paste it here. Okay. This is how you validate email address. And then I'm going to go to email, which is email. Okay. And then run once. There we go. So that's how we validate an email. Okay. Now, in my case, I already have my own email enrichment platform, which is the Command Center, which is a platform that we built specifically for SSM, which is a community that I run. So instead of people paying for mails.so and email finder, which is like $500 a month, we were like, let's just lower the cost for people, and this is just going to help them get their first win, scale quickly. As you guys can see here, deliver an actual value. Okay. Because when we thought about it, people are just going to pay regardless for an email finders and mails.so, which is basically like $500 a month. Okay. So what have we done? It was just built our own, and members can just use it like every single day, which is unlimited, right? Instead of just paying for it. I mean, think about it. If we do like in comparison to an email finder, it's just crazy. If you go to pricing to an email finder, let's go monthly. So 1K credits is $50 a month, and you're not gonna just scrape 1,000 leads. You want to scale. Like 1K is 49. Now 5K leads $150. 10K leads $200. Right? So it just doesn't make any sense. So we built our own, and members can just use it unlimited. Okay. So this is gonna be validate email. Okay. So now what do we need to do? We need to clean the company names, because typically when you scrape leads, let me go to the run, you will see that if you go to output, you will see that a lot of companies have things like LTD, LLC in our copy. I would highly recommend you guys never use the variable company name in the copy before you clean it. So you need to remove all these LTD, LLC, because it's going to be a variable, and you're going to say, hey, for example, I noticed company name is doing this. You're not going to say notice company name LLC, right? So the simple fix for that is just use AI to clean up the company name. So I'm just going to use Entropic. Okay, you can use any AI model that you want. I'm just gonna so they added new ones. So Sonnet, let's just use Opus. I think Opus is a little bit dumb. Yeah, I'm just gonna use Sonnet 3. Max token 750. Add messages user, content is gonna be text. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to my 7-figure prompt, which is basically like a document, and I'm gonna leave it in description, so rest assured. And it's gonna be this prompt right here: company name formatter. Okay, Control C, paste it here. So normalize the company name, which is going to be the name of the company. Where's the company name? organization name, domain. So the domain is the website. And then the headline is going to be, let's just do the person's or the company, and the company LinkedIn. And we're going to add the LinkedIn page, which is organization LinkedIn URL. Okay. So it's going to be clean company name. And then we forgot something actually. We need to have the results as JSON. Provide the only finalized result in the correct JSON as JSON. So results, click on save. Okay. So now since it's JSON, we need to parse that JSON by going to JSON and just paste in the string here, save. Okay. So now we need to generate some sort of personalization. So we're going to click on this plus button. Okay. And then we're going to choose Entropic again. Go to model and it's going to be Sonnet again. Max tokens 3060. Go to add messages, user. Content is going to be text. And the text is going to be a prompt that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, which is the recent achievement prompts, one of the best prompts. And then let's go back to make, paste it here. And then what we need to do is we're going to add, actually, we need to scrape their website page. Yeah, so we can use that in our personalization. So click on save. So unlink this. To scrape their website, we're just going to use a platform called Exa AI. So Exa AI, perform a search. Okay. Now I'm going to go to search query. I'm just going to put in the website URL. Number of results, just one. Include content response, yes. And then category is going to be company. Click on save. Now I can essentially add the text here. Okay. Sweet. So now, right, you can save this, auto align this. And now the only thing I have to do is basically add a copy, for example. Okay. So set variable. And this is going to be dream email. And then let's just pre-draft like a simple copy. Okay. So, hey, for example, this person. And then we can add a congrats line, which is the congrats line. And we can say, for example, we work specifically with company name, which is, we can't get the company name from the JSON. So we need just to run this module only and just give it like an example. So for this an example, boom, I can now have it. So we work specifically with companies like results, and we connect them with 5 to 6 ideal clients purely on performance. Last month, we helped X achieve Y and Z time frame. Certain we can do something similar or better for you. Is this aligned with what you're trying to achieve right now? Okay, sweet. Save this. Well, now, the last step is basically just adding everything to instantly. So I'm going to click on this plus button, instantly, add leads to a campaign, okay? Go to instantly. And the cool part is now we're going to essentially just run the system end to end, and it's going to all work, which is sweet. You build it once and you don't have to worry about it. Example, campaign, save. Now we're going to go to settings. I'm going to show you guys how to authenticate. So go to integration, API keys. Version 1 is going to be copy API key. And then go to part 2, go to add, paste this here. Okay. Now let me just close all of these tabs so we don't get overwhelmed. So campaign ID is going to be the campaign that we just created. Example campaign. Now the leads email is going to be the email that we have. The first name is going to be the first name. Last name. The company name is going to be the cleaned company name from the results of JSON. And the personalization is going to be the dream email. Okay. So now check this out. Now, well, I can just boom, boom. And I need to add a filter, by the way, here. So only if results equals deliverable, if email is valid, if email valid. Save this. It's going to be scrape website. This is going to be generate personalization. This is going to be dream email. And this is going to be add lead to sequence. Now let's just save this, auto align this. Well, now we need to map the correct data set ID, which is going to be default data set ID. Boom. Save this, auto align this. Now let's make sure we run the scenario immediately. Save this. There we go. Same thing here. This is going to be get list URL. Save this, auto align this again, run immediately as data arrives. Save this, go back. So we're going to do the same thing now. Check this out. Power is going to run. It's going to wash the lead list. Boom, we're scraping. So if we go to runs, we're going to see that the run here is running. Okay. Boom, we've scraped the leads. And then it's going to save it. Boom. And it's going to check if the email is valid. If it's not valid, then it's not going to continue the flow. And oh man, silly. Because we have the limit. We put 1 here. Oh man. Let's just save this. Make sure to leave this empty, okay? Leave this empty, okay? So again, let's just do it again. And then we can launch it back again. And boom. Power. Boom. We're going to receive it again. Again, we're going to have this here. And there we go. So we received it. Scraping the text. Boom, we added our lead to instantly. If I go to campaign, I'm going to see my lead getting added. Now, if I go to personalization, hey, Tony, congrats on the innovative approach. Putting the customer at the center while prioritizing sustainability is rare. We work specifically with companies like Force, and we connect them 5 to 6 ideal clients brilliant performance. Last month, we helped X achieve Y in that time frame. It's basically just a copy. And one thing that I forgot to add, so essentially now we're adding every lead to our instantly campaign. One more thing is, you guys noticed here, we have like a space here that I will need to remove, okay? Okay, so now what do? Well, let me just fix the space, save this, and save. And that's pretty much it, okay? Go to leads. My leads are getting added, okay? And that's how we essentially build a fully automated sales system, right? To give you a recap, you only need a trigger where you send the data, and the system is going to take that data, receive that data, essentially just run the actor and add all your leads to instantly, okay? So now all you have to do is basically follow along this video and build it your own. And obviously, you need to get out there and take action. And I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.